Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Large Scale Live with Andrew, Mr. Pictavid. And hello, how are we doing tonight?
That was all the energy I had for the evening. I'm ready for a nap.
Oh, I'm not surprised there.
No, gotta conserve my energy.
But at any rate, welcome to another show, everybody. Glad you could join us tonight. And so, as usual, we will go down the list of people who are in the chat, and then we will bring our guest aboard. So let's see who we have in the chat tonight. We have Dave's Trains and Automobiles, Paul Torrey's G Scale Trains, Stay Loaded. Then we have John Simkovich. I heard he's like French Canadian or something. I'm not sure. Mr. Pictavid was in the chat. And then we got Bruce Morrill, Joseph Lipinski, Cody Reisinger. Scrolling down here, Mike. I'm not even going to attempt that one because I'm just a name record and a half. NSNJ Rail Fan, Benner 1877. And I know I'm missing some. The Infinity Hobbies channel. PJ Fast Tracks. So, Zachary Riggins. So we got quite a bit of people with us. Ravenhawk. Hello, Sterling. How are you doing? John E. Indoors G Gauge. And Robert Cooney. And Rob 412, who I just happened to run into at the train show in Oaks, Pennsylvania, and Chris Gwynn. So
Didn't hurt him when you ran into him, did you?
No. So let's bring up our guests for tonight.
All right.
And there he is.
Hi.
Hello. And I remember when we first started our show, I kept calling you Kyle Keiper, but it's actually Keiper.
Keeper, Keiper, Reaper, you name it. People have massacred it. My dad used to get it from all the telemarketers when they used to call on the phone. Is Mr. Reaper there?
Reaper, huh?
What? How does that work?
That's only when you turn the desk lamp on.
Yeah.
Mr. Reaper. So I'm not the only one then.
No, but at least you got it somewhat right.
There you go.
When I got engaged to the wife, her one friend says she's a keeper instead of a Keiper. So.
Wow. Yeah, okay. You're right. Yeah. So it was actually took Charlie Zimmerman coming on to our show to actually tell us how to say her name, by the way.
Yeah. It's Keiper. Don't ask me. All I know is it's a bunch of German, Russian. I'm a mutt. I'm one of them.
He didn't know how to say it either.
Yeah.
That's why I let you say the names all the time.
Yeah, he lets one person massacre him, not two.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just the fall guy for massacring names. And I'm pretty good at it too.
I'm a giver, you know. I mean, why should I take all the fun? You know, like spread it around.
That's like I went to trains, a hobby shop called Trains and Things. Now, this is my first time being there in North Jersey. So the city is spelled Ewing. I'm thinking it, when I talk about this on video, I'm thinking it's pronounced Ewing, and then boy, did I get a whole bunch of email on that one, and they're telling me no, it's Ewing, not Ewing. I'm like, how do you get Ewing out of Ewing? You live up in North Jersey, don't you, Kyle?
No, I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Scranton. I thought you were North Jersey for some reason.
Joseph, to answer your question, I'm related. My dad had 7 brothers and 1 sister, and there's so many Keipers that I can't even tell you. No, I did not, Katie, and that's for me.
Oh yeah, well, we're all really Conroe fans right? Andrew, you and me, we're all really.
Oh
yeah.
Except you're missing. You got 3 rails there, Sean.
Well, that's for a different episode.
Yeah.
But
it's a single track mine, but it runs on 3 rails, Kyle.
So, before we move on, we have a traditional question we like to ask our guests on the show of how you got involved into the garden training hobby.
Okay, well, that's a kind of short and sweet story, but it involves going to Disney World in 1996 to the Epcot place, or Epcot thing, and seeing the German setup of the LGB trains that they still have today in Germany. And fast forward to 2008 or 2007, I moved home from college. A train store is closing. They had an excellent deal on what I thought was an excellent deal on a aristo-craft U-boat, or the GE. What's it called, Andrew?
The U-25B.
Yeah, the U-25B, and that was the first locomotive I started out with. And I was into O-scale originally, ever since I was a kid, because that's all I ever grew up around with the Christmas train. We took over the whole side of the one living room and had trains, like 5 or 6 trains running, and then I started out with, my dad had a Bachmann set, and Dad always really cured like a Bachmann big hauler set, the blue common one. And it intrigued me, so I tried to put that outside and learned very fast that the Bachmann steel track does not go outside very well. and then I did the evil thing of not knowing and bought 4-foot curves, and that's what that's on now, and couldn't figure out why it was derailing because I didn't know that it wouldn't run that great on 4-foot curves. So I used to, there's a couple pictures floating around. I don't know if Andrew saved one, but on the flat car that I always used to run behind the locomotive, I put a big rock. So therefore the locomotive wasn't strong enough around the turn to pull the flat car off because it had a big rock on it.
Wow, look at that turn.
Yeah.
That was a bit snug of a turn, wasn't it, Kyle?
Yeah, I also extended the coupler shank on the U-boat because at that time I was not running KDs because I didn't know they existed, and I was using the evil Aristo couplers, as I hate them.
That's awesome.
And then I went to USA couplers for a little bit, and then I went to Charlie Zingerman's house one time, and he corrupted me with KDs, and that's just a whole different story about KDs.
He's corrupted a lot of us.
Yes.
So, a curiosity question though: do you still have your O gauge since you started out in that first?
That's for a different story, Sean. But yes, I just put them away from Christmas time because Russian Christmas was Friday, so the wife's like, the dogs want their window back, so I had to put them away.
Did you say Russian Christmas?
Yes, Russian Christmas was on. I don't celebrate anything for it, but a Russian Orthodox Christmas is always January 7th.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I always keep the tree up and the trains up until then, and the outside lights out until then. And it never fails. It always snows for Russian Christmas. So we went from 4-foot curves to 5-foot curves to 10-foot curves, and then
I had
the whole story of this layout was around my parents' deck was a railroad tie wall, and the wall was collapsing, so my dad and I redid the wall with Versalock. Well, as soon as my dad and I started laying this Versalock wall, I was already planning the railroad. So This is actually the 10-foot curves because it comes out from underneath the deck. The 5-foot curves still would have made it, would have looped around the building here where the switch tower is. That's the 10-foot curve. So I made all those, all that trestle, except for the newer stuff, was made out of angle iron. The other stuff I made, I welded steel flat stock together.
Nice.
And made it look like an iron beam.
Yeah, that came out really good.
Yeah, it worked for a while because the angle iron going in the ground was at least 3 feet in the ground, so the frost didn't affect it. So I welded it right in place. On the wall, I just kind of like went underneath the cap, so there was nothing on top.
Ah, okay.
So there was no like it didn't attach to the wall; it was just kind of sitting on the wall. So.
Very cool.
Then we redid the deck, and the deck actually had a bump out where the like grill used to be. Right about where the windmill is, you could see there's kind of a new board there.
Over here.
Yeah, well the grill used to bump out there where it used to bump out for the grill, and we got rid of it. Well, to make the layout work, the deck used to actually slope towards the wall. So we had to lift up the deck and put, because it wasn't level anymore because the blocks actually sank that it sits on. So.
Okay.
So I helped redid the deck, and then I started redoing the railroad already. And my dad's like, "Can you just wait until I get the deck done?"
Yeah, why not?
I actually laid the track underneath the deck before we put it down because it made it so much easier to put it down because I was just able to jump from like stringer to stringer instead of laying on my stomach to go underneath the deck.
That works.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to build all this?
Well, that was at the time where I didn't know where any G-scale store was and didn't know anybody in the G-scale, so it was kind of like eBay was my friend at the time.
Oh.
It was everybody's friend.
Where I overpaid for a lot of stuff, but I did get some good deals. And well, this layout no longer exists. But I was answering Dave's Trains and Automobiles question. No, that's the Procor hopper. But I have the NW2. That was the first one I did, the Procor hopper.
Oh, okay.
But that, if you go back a second, Andrew, go play a little bit. Pause. Okay, see that triangle piece? Originally, the train track, because of the 4-foot curves and the 5-foot curves, would have went right on the end of the wall, and that's what the triangle was for. Yeah, because I thought that, oh, hey, the track won't run good on gravel, not thinking that that's what they do with real trains. But so that was the first layout I had was with the 4-foot curves, and that worked for a while. And then I did the 5-foot curves, and then the 10-foot curves. I was maxed out. I couldn't go any bigger, and that was about when I moved out and then took all the track with me. Oh, and
that was 10-foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the 10-foot curves. Because the other ones made it like were able to make the turn where you couldn't fit coming. I had to come out from underneath the deck to be the 10-foot curves.
Okay.
Wow. It's like you cut the bushes out just for the track.
Maybe. That was approved by the let's see, by the owner of the bushes. That was approved.
Did you get proper zoning permits?
Yeah, I got proper zoning permits from my mother. but I had a little yard there, so the one track was like a passing siding, and then the two, but with the bushes there and everything, it was like a pain in the butt to go switch tracks and everything. So
I mean, it looked like you had a fun little layout. I mean,
it
for the
was
area.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice for a starting layout. Like, did I do a bunch of things wrong? Yes. Did I learn from my mistakes? Yes.
Well, I think a lot of us who began, made a lot of mistakes along the way and you learn from them. Oh, wow. Look at this. That's cool.
That's a funny story about that snowplow. That snowplow is the Aristo snowplow,
Okay.
a Bachmann boxcar, and a brick.
The brick is key.
The brick is 100% key. I did not make the car. Charlie actually made the car, but the brick is provided by I think it was provided by Jeremy. Andrew.
Jeremy, he's a stand-up guy,
Yeah,
except for when he's sitting down. I was kidding.
but the without the brick, the locomotives will just push the snowplow right off the tracks.
Oh, okay.
But the brick is actually for the weight to be able to push the snow.
I mean, it seemed to have done the job.
Oh, it definitely does the job. I know why it's so shaky. My dad's filming.
Oh, it was probably cold too and chattering,
Yeah, I forgot I switched the tracks on this. At least I tried to.
You got to clear all of them, right?
Yeah. That was the Bachmann switch stand. I had to dig it out.
Had to dig it out, huh?
Yeah. Well, because that's like we get the snow, and then if the snow is not the right temperature and you're trying to plow snow, by the time the train runs around the track from the friction of the locomotive running over it, it turns back to ice.
Oh.
Yeah, you need that fresh, like nice, fluffy snow.
Yeah.
If it's got
Charlie has a video on YouTube that every once in a while somebody tries to steal it, and then he
I know what
reports it to
video you're talking
YouTube.
about. Yeah.
But that was like the perfect snow.
Yeah, that video's been stolen quite a few times.
Yes.
Yeah, people download it, upload it as their own.
But the funny thing is, most of all but one of them locomotives actually came from Charlie.
Really?
Yeah, the two of the GP38s. Yeah. Two of the GP38s came from Charlie. The GP9 kind of came through Charlie and Nico.
Ah, okay.
Kinda.
I was very low on money, and Charlie lent me the money to pay Nico, and it ended up at Charlie's house, and then I paid Charlie slowly. So technically, I bought it off of Charlie instead of Nico, but
I understand how these deals go.
yeah. Andrew will show up, and Jeremy will secretly put a bunch of stuff in Andrew's car to come back to Ohio.
Yeah, that's what good friends are. As you're saying, well, I'm not sure if I want those. And, he just
They're already in your car.
Starts stacking it like logs in the back seat. No, that's all right. Pay me when you get the money. Well, I'm not sure. That's all right. Just pay me when you get it. But as Jeremy likes to remind me, I made out on that deal. So,
yeah.
Well, and I've done a lot of videos of the East Coast Horse Scale train.
Yeah, I usually have the longest train there.
And normally you run on the Pocono Mountain Garden Railway Society layout.
Correct.
And I always remembered you running them multiple Conrail locomotives. I don't know if the 4 or 5. I forget how many.
The last time it was a GP30, the 3 GP38s, and a GP9. And every single car I could fit in my trunk.
Yeah, it made for an awesome train.
Let's see, there was 9. No, I didn't. 9 of the USA 70-ton hoppers. I don't think I had the 100-ton from Aristo. The 5 Cole Porters or Beth Gons from AML, the custom one that Jeremy did for me. The center flow hopper, the 3 Procor tank cars that I have. I think I had Charlie's Procor hopper with me that I made. I had them on there. I had the flat car I made, the wrecked flat car, or the flat car with the wrecked hopper on it.
Yep.
The 3 box cars. So I had like 20 some cars on the train.
It was pretty long. Because one of the cars was an MTH coil car, right?
No, that's actually made by Jeff Smutcher.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a USA flat car with wood covers.
Okay.
Oh, the infamous flat car. So that's an LGB flat car and a Bachmann hopper. That there is a photo on the Conrail Historical Society's website because they have all them Conrail photos. And I kind of guessed on the wreck damage on the top of the hopper because you can't see the top of the hopper. So I painted the car, sent both cars to Jeff, and he decaled them up from the picture.
Nice.
But
John's asking me if I have a picture of the 206, Kyle.
We'll get to that, John. Don't you worry.
Okay.
So that's kind of the top of the car.
Oh, hang on. Let me, let's see here.
There you go. So that's actually done with. I tried heating a pan in the oven first to bend it, and make it look like it was dragged in the ground, and that didn't work. So then I tried some other different things, and that didn't work. And I tried a putty knife and a blowtorch, and that ended up working better.
A blowtorch?
Yeah, well, not like heating the putty knife and then pushing down on it with a welding glove.
You took all the stops out.
Oh, I tried everything to do it. And then when I was wanting to do this idea, I couldn't find a Bachmann hopper for less than $40, $30.
What?
Yeah, I wanted a Bachmann hopper, and before I started this project, it was, $15. Oh, that's cool. Wanted a Bachmann hopper, eBay. Really? 40, $50? Like, come on. There's a couple other wreck ones I want to do. Like, if I could find a damaged center flow from USA, I'd do one of them too. But I'm not justifying spending $100 for a center flow and making it damaged.
I get it.
Yeah, I can understand that part.
Do you want to? And then this is another LGB flat car I did. Now, story on this one is I was part of the Conrail Historical Society, and I joined and helped move the car, get the car ready to move from the Middletown Railroad to the Allentown and Auburn Railroad in Pennsylvania. And I helped put some 2x6s across the floor because NS wouldn't ship it with holes in the floor because the deck of the floor is actually really shot, but hey, whatever. So I painted the car how it was when Conrail gave it to the Baltimore Museum, because they actually turned this flat car into a open air car. So the story of this is actually LGB's wood deck that's plastic, and I took 2 different color stain pens and I went to town on it. And you can actually, it's probably really hard to see in the camera, but you can actually see LGB molded the plastic with a wood grain in it.
Oh.
And the nice thing about these cars is the floor comes off, these 2 little ends come off, and then the brake detail underneath comes off, and then the whole rest of the body is one piece. So you throw it in your parts washer. Yeah, there's the floor. You throw it in your parts washer, you strip the paint, you paint it whatever color you want, and you snap the floor back in.
Yeah, that
Makes
ain't too bad.
super easy to model.
I didn't know they had wood stain and a paint marker like that.
It's actually like a repair pen for like furniture.
Oh, okay.
Now the this one turned out better than the wrecked one. This one the one with no load on it was the one I did first, and that one was gray. It was molded gray plastic. The other one was molded like a brownish gray or a brown. So I actually painted it with a primer first and had to work very diligently because the stain was actually eating the primer.
Oh,
Because with the brown, it wouldn't show up very well and it looked like garbage. So I had to like rub it real fast and not like if I like stopped and then went again, it would eat the primer. So you had to like go really fast and then get the first coat on there and then rub the like get the second coat on there. On like you can see, this one looks a little bit more grayish underneath because that's actually the primer. Like it was like literally mixing with the paint.
Oh, I like the way it came out, though.
Yeah, I get compliments on them all the time. I get more compliments on the wrecked one because they're like, that never happened. Okay. Oh, okay. I stand corrected.
that never happened, huh?
Yeah. You know, everything's prototypical and there's a photo somewhere for everything.
This is very true.
Because every once in a while I'll run my Pennsylvania F unit in with my the GP38s, and that never happened. Well, when they had power down shortage or anything, they shoved anything power wise they had on the train and ran it.
Yeah, basically.
I get that a lot. NSNJ Railfan. Because is that real wood? Nope, that's actually plastic. Are you serious? Yeah, it's. I get that a lot of questions on that one.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
That came out really good, Kyle.
Yeah, and I both put the 906 KDs on the car, or Charlie did the one, and I did the other one because I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then I put the USA trucks underneath it, the metal ones, the whole die-cast truck assembly.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm a big fan of those cars are kind of light on the bottom, so if you put something heavy underneath, they'll work.
Yeah, you get the center of gravity a little bit lower on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like,
interesting. MSMJ said CSX used to use F
Yeah,
unit.
the railroads, if they had a train breakdown, they shoved at whatever power they had in thing to get the train moving.
Nice.
Like there's a couple pictures of yeah.
What pictures are we looking for?
Looking at John's comment here. So what? I'm gonna stop reading the chat. I'm gonna get in trouble.
That's what happens to us.
Now I know why Andrew's always looking to the side.
Yeah. You got to keep an eye on people. That and I got to
there's
fold
most
all
of
your
my
pictures in there.
locomotives on the shelves there in the background.
Now, you speaking of weird combinations, and they would run anything. You've even run your road locomotives with a switcher in it.
My SW's project that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Story on that one is I volunteer at the Allentown Auburn in Topton, Pennsylvania. We have 4 miles of track. No, it's not 11, John. It's 206. But she was built for the Bethlehem Steel Plant for the PB&E, and was it's the second oldest running diesel locomotive in the United States, second to the one at Steamtown, which is the EMC, because technically it's an EMC, not an EMD. It's so old. But it It was made in. It was re-engineered in 1956 with a newer block in it. But that's what I started with was the NW2. Andrew, you know the only thing we didn't do was the actual picture of the locomotive.
Yeah.
But so basically, I bought the NW2 for dirt cheap at the time, and basically took everything, and that's all I used except for the trucks. Everything else I started making myself.
Oh.
So on the 206's hood, that was just a quick mock-up to see if it looked okay. To put the bigger block in it, they actually redesigned the whole entire hood to make it fit. So the exhaust would not fit, so they made a round dome to fit the exhaust in it. And I've been in the process of making the model of it. And as we go through the pictures here, I used a piece of not C channel, but a piece of tube, and I made the hood, and I made it in 3 pieces. I had my, now at the time, friend, but my boss now, he cut the tube for me, and then I took it to a guy and he milled it for me, so it's completely straight, completely flat. And that's like the front of the grill there, where the grill would be, and then that's like the front of the hood, and then right before the cab it necks down. Fire!
Yeah, sorry about that.
What do you got going on over there, Sean?
That's my cell phone text alert.
You don't say.
Jeez. Was the air raid siren sound not available?
That's what wakes me up when I get it.
I guess.
So, as we go through the photos, so there's the part of the sandbox, which on the real locomotive I helped remake that, because when we got 206, it didn't have a sandbox cover, so you could just see the sandbox and it looked absolutely horrible. So I helped make the sandbox cover. So, and then the front, where the above the grill there is JB weld and another piece of metal welded there. So it's actually like less than, it's like 3/16 thick, so it adds a lot of weight to the NW2, but it should be able to haul a lot, and I've proved that with when I was doing a couple tests with it. And then as you see the part that necks down to the cab there, this is the detail of all the doors. It's fine. All the doors there, where all my Sharpie marker is, I took it to a guy and he engraved the whole entire thing, so it all looks like doors. And so this is where I was screwing around with hinges, and my little D's were because the lines were getting confusing and I was starting to go cross-eyes, so I put the little D so I know that was a door and this was a space. And
No, I think it came out good.
so this is where we're at now, where you can see all the detail.
Let's move that around there.
So we're slowly but steadily getting there.
Oh yeah.
So we have
Nice.
grab handles. I actually bent them out of really fine wire. I forget what I used. And then most of this is the NW2 stack. This was 3D printed by a friend. This was 3D printed by a friend. The headlights were 3D printed by a friend. Nico printed some like the hood lifting devices for me. I made all of this. This is actually the oil cooler on the locomotive. So,
nice.
And then this is the coolant fill, and yeah. So I spent multiple trips down to Topton and Kutztown to actually needle scale the locomotive. So I helped needle scale the locomotive, get ready for paint, and that is probably why I know all the details of the locomotive. But then The cab windows on the NW2 are different than what 206's windows were. So the like curved windows in the center, well, 206's windows are tiny because I don't know why or when they redid them, but and then the door is actually shorter also. So I redid the door, redid this thing, and then these windows are actually from the back of another cab. So I have the glass and everything like that. It has the radio antenna on the roof like the real one. Had detail there. So we're getting there.
Nice.
And how long has this project been going on?
2015,
10,
14, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm doing like really detailed interior. So we have the heater here, and the control stand is different than thing, and the brake lines all coming through the floor. So I don't know why I'm doing all this detail because nobody's gonna see it, but I was originally gonna leave the windows alone on the cab, and then I took it to the railroad and showed the guy that owns the locomotive. He goes, "The windows are wrong." I go, "No, don't." And I had to do them.
Andrew.
Do you want to bring up a picture of the real locomotive, Andrew?
Yeah. Did you send one to me?
No, but it's on Facebook in the EMC file, 206. It's every single photo of 206 that I have.
Let's see. Let's see here. 206 file, you said.
Yes. The top photo should be when it was in Pittston, Pennsylvania before it moved to Topton. We don't want to show them. We want to show the ones lettered for Allentown and Auburn.
Oh, you have one that's a separate from
Yeah,
the model.
one of them.
Okay.
One of them is the real locomotive. The other one is the model.
All right, and let's see.
Probably towards the bottom.
Towards the
of
bottom.
The file. Like the bottom of the file.
I'm going all the way to the bottom of the file. Let's see inside. I know the suspense is killing everybody, isn't it? Trying to find. You got a lot of close
says he thought he had one when it was 11.
When it was 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was 11 was when it was at Stewartstown.
Let's see here.
Are you having some trouble? Or did you get it, Andrew?
No, I think I found it. I just got to drop it in the window over here.
Make it do some funky, cool stuff.
Well, I don't know about that, but we'll try. Let's see. Share. All right. How's that?
That's when it was first painted. Yep. So basically the cab is the same as the NW2 for the most part, but the hood is shorter because of the frame. And then as you see the spot where the exhaust would actually be, that's actually a cover over the exhaust to fit underneath the hood.
Okay.
So.
And I think you got a picture here before it was painted. Let's see if I can get that one.
Is that the one outside the shop in
yeah.
Just sheet metal? Well, just metal.
Let's see. So that's the one we're thinking of?
Yeah.
And how long did you say you've been working on that on and off now?
On
The
the
model?
model
Yeah.
since like 2015. So I picked up the NW2 on eBay for real cheap at that time. Now you can't find an NW2 for cheap.
Yeah, it seems to be whether it's model trains, buying cars, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. When you're actually not looking for it, they're all around for a great price. And
Yeah.
the moment you want one, you can't find it anywhere.
That's like them LGB flat cars. They're great cars, but they always take like tons of money all the time.
Yeah, that's why when you find anything and it seems like it's a price you can't pass up, you probably shouldn't. You should go ahead and get it while it's there.
Yeah, the first one I bought myself, and then the other one I did a work on a guy's car, and I'm like, here, buy this off of eBay, and I'll take it as payment. The guy's like, okay, works for me.
Sorry, I'm just looking around here for something else. So, tell us about the Procor hoppers that you've
The
done, Kyle.
Procor hoppers. Well, first we have to start at the story of Procor.
Procor or no core?
Yeah. Procor or no core. So, going to Charlie's house to run trains after I met him, he had like all these Procor tank cars, and I just fell in love with the Procor tank cars. So then I had to buy some Procor tank cars. Well, then someone posted a photo, I don't remember where, and I saved it. And I'm like, I'm gonna make them cars someday because I had an old Aristo 2-bay hopper from, I think it was one of the show cars from the East Coast show that I bought used. Got through a lot of touring cars I didn't really want it because that I didn't really like it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. And then somebody posted this.
Ooh,
Don't know where it came from. Maybe from a book. And I'm like, I'm gonna make that car. So I took that car apart and I did the alcohol trick to clean it. And I started filling in the center section because Aristo made it after, I think it's the Baltimore and Ohio cars had them. Well,
something I didn't realize until I saw your picture here was there's actually no openings in the top of these cars. The hatches just kind of
no, there is
plug in
screw
there.
holes.
Well, I was thinking there was actually like large, like open hatches, like if you opened them, but it's actually more of a solid top.
Yeah, they're only screw holes. There's technically 2 holes for each hatch. One is a little peg, and then the other one's a screw hole.
Ah, okay.
Well, those pegs like to break off. But I filled the center section in with JB Weld, and the 3 little rivets that you see on the very first car, I took the patience and saved those 3 little rivets on either side. The ones up the center, Andrew, if you want to put the mouse on them. Yeah,
yes,
those ones. Yeah, I was able to save them on the prototype car I did. Now, where the 3 little rivets are to the bottom of the car, that's actually higher than the face where the triangle is. So like I had to do like a tape down, like a tape line to get the like rib to look right all the way down.
Okay.
And then the hatches, I didn't at the time know anybody to 3D print me new hatches, so I just rounded the edges to kind of make them look, like more like an oval, where like they'd be square on one side but roundish on the other side. So I ran with that for a while, and then I sent the car over to Jeff, and he decaled the car and sent me. I gave him a bunch of numbers, and I said, "Give me all these numbers because I'm gonna do." I did a car for Andrew, I did a car for Jeremy, and did a car for Charlie. And then I made the handrails out of coat hangers, and I JB welded them together. Wasn't too happy the way it looked, but I guess in the long run, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I think it worked, Kyle.
Yeah, as long as somebody doesn't drop it or pick it up by there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We,
And then I bought the lowering bolster from Mr. Nico from the for his Aristo 2-bay lowering bolsters, because I originally had like a big block under for the 906 KDs.
I was trying to see if I had the picture of when you lowered. So that's one that's not lowered, right?
Yeah. One of them is lowered, one of them's not. You see that big block under there?
Yeah.
Or wait. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I can tell you the one that I have isn't lowered yet. I have the lowering kit to do it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's see. Yours you have is lowered, I believe, right, Kyle?
Yes, mine is lowered.
So what's that one look like?
So there is the coupler bolts right to the body of the car. And if you guys are interested in these are great products.
No, they are. I mean, like I said, I don't know, it might be a little bit harder to see on this one.
See,
you can see
his
you got
has like a half an inch piece of
well, you mean yours.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you can see the one that Kyle was holding up that they ride a lot lower and look a lot nicer. And if you're looking for a little bit more prototypical height out of them, and he builds the KD mounts into them, I think they come out really well.
He also fixed an Aristo design flaw where the end of the car, when it meets the base of the car, they didn't interlock at all. So if you put any body mounts on it, you would have to either glue it to the bottom of the car. He made a lip to go over the end of the car, because what happened is the end of the car would actually deflect down because of the way Aristo designed it, where the floor of the car and the end of the car had no connection whatsoever.
Question for you, Kyle.
Yes.
I see. Not John. He jumped in there on me. Dave's Trains on Automobiles was saying he got a car with body mounts like that can only run on 6-foot curves. How small a curve would you say that would go around with the body mounts on it, if you had to guess?
I don't run on anything smaller than 8 foot, because that's what the club has. Well, the club had bigger, but at one time they did have 8 foot. I don't know.
Just curious.
I have 10-foot curves that I do for like a temporary layout when I run. I used to do for our Christmas tree display lighting in our township. I would throw the 5-foot curves on the ground, and they handled that okay for no. They're 10-foot curves. Sorry, they're 10-foot curves. I think 8 foot's the minimum with,
Yeah, Dave's Trains and Automobiles says the wheels hit the copper box.
Yeah. I was, just in case anybody's interested in the lowering kit that Nico makes for those cars, I was just going to throw his info up there for anyone that's interested. He has a lot of different stuff, but I don't think they have a website right now, if I'm correct, Kyle.
I am not sure. I usually just message him personally, because I was in his train club that he started with a bunch of people, so
okay.
I knew him personally and not just on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I saw his lowering bolster and I messaged him about it, and I got one of the first ones before because the second set I ordered had the 4-track right in it, like this little logo.
And I think he actually has a video on his YouTube channel. If you look up the 4-track RR on YouTube, where he shows how to do the lowering kit on that, and it seems like it's pretty straightforward.
It's very simple. You basically take the car apart. You cut the bolster even with the end of the bolster towards the car. Put 2 screws in it, paint it, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And it makes mounting the KD very easy.
I was looking here. You had a picture. Oh, there we go. The picture of all four of the
the
cars that you
Procor
did.
Procor family cars.
The Procor family cars.
So
Now you did make some more changes to these after this, didn't you?
yes, I did. But I don't know if I could talk about them.
Okay then.
That's why I didn't show the top of the car because.
Well, I mean, you could just
Yeah.
you can show it, but obviously,
I'm not gonna say where they came from.
yeah.
So I had round hatches made. So I deleted the hatch in the middle, filled the holes. No, oh wait.
There
Okay.
you go.
So I had round hatches, different walkways made because the other ones were like wood planks. So to make it look like a newer car, even though none of these cars exist anymore, it's just like this looks cooler than.
And I think I actually saw that stuff on like Thingiverse or one of the 3D printing sites. I think you can find that
Yeah,
the walkway in that.
but it definitely makes the cars better.
What did these cars haul? Do you know? What did they use these cars for?
This one would have been sodium chlorate.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Sean. I don't know what they hauled. That doesn't matter to me. Procor is what matters to me, That was the great decision of do I wear a Procor shirt, do I wear a Conrail shirt before I get on the camera?
Life decisions,
But the next thing I might do is I might get one of the box cars from AML and do one in the Procor like bluish color for a box car.
That'd be nice.
Now, Procor is, I'm sure some people weren't familiar with that road name, but that's the Canadian version of like Railbox or TTX.
I'm not 100% sure. Charlie would know more than me about that because he's found all these weird things on eBay from Procor because employees sell things. It's actually Canadian, I think.
Yeah, I remember it's Canadian.
Come on, Mr. Canadian Railroad. Get me my information here.
I don't know. He's gone kind of quiet in the chat. I wonder where he went.
Yeah. I don't know. I know USA made them, and they're a very common tank car company. And I guess they're a lease company.
Yeah, yeah.
I would assume you're right there, Sean. With they're the same as like TCX.
Canadian Railroad says yes.
So, but then Charlie made USA sell out of the Procor tank cars because he made them cool. Because I know Charlie used to sit on a whole bunch of them.
That Charlie, I'm telling you.
The one I liked the most was the green version.
Yes, that is the very hard one to come by.
And even in the real world of railroading, you don't see that many green ones anymore.
No, you see the white or black. It denotes what's in the car. The green ones, I forget what's in the green ones, but you very rarely see a green, like, big size one. You usually see the beer can ones. At least that's what I've seen in person.
Oh, the shorter ones.
Yeah, because the railroad I volunteer at, Allentown, Auburn, the NS main line is like 50 feet away from our shop because we have an interchange right there with them, and you're working on outside the shop, and we're right between Allentown and Reading.
If Manimal is the one that makes the round hatches and walkways, Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah. I know we were having a hard time trying to remember who came up with those earlier, but I knew I'd seen them somewhere, and I thought it was Thingiverse. So I'll have to check that out because that seems like a pretty nice kit for on those.
Andrew, do you have the picture of the Western Maryland tank hopper car? before I started.
I was gonna say tank car. You kind of threw me for a loop there.
Tank car, yep.
Like, wait, tank car? I didn't get pictures from the tank car. Was it chassis system before you started?
It was very close. It's Western Maryland or chassis system, one or the other.
Yeah, I got the picture here. Let's see here. Just rotate it the right way so Sean doesn't have to stand on his head. Let's see here. All right. Is this what we're talking about?
Yes. So this is a Erie Lackawanna car. There's somebody painted chassis system. And I wanted it back to Erie Lackawanna to go off a photo that I saw on a Conrail train. And I was trying to save the Erie Lackawanna decals underneath. So I was trying paint the inner and all these different things. And finally I'm just like, let's try brake clean. So I tried brake clean and a old sock and got rid of the old decals and the paint that were on top of it.
I think the old sock was key.
Yes, the old sock, definitely. A clean old sock. Let's go there, Andrew.
All right. I'll have to wash it first, I guess.
So I did that to the car to save it as best I could. Now, I was okay with it eating some of the decal away because I was going to give the car to Charlie and have him do his weathering love to it. And this is... I'll wait for you to switch it again, Andrew, before I start talking.
You don't have to wait on me. Sean can do it too. You know,
well, Sean just looks like he's like
just hanging
falling asleep there in a chair. So this is how it turned out.
He sleeps in a chair.
So Charlie did his fantastic weathering that he did to that boxcar.
Oh, that came out really nice.
So, and then on this side we have some like repairs going on in the car.
See, I think I got a picture of it too from your page. From out, oh yeah, I got a good picture from outside.
Yeah.
Oop.
So that was before I think it was weathered. I think. No, that's when it's weathered.
Yeah, I like it. It's grungy looking.
Exactly. No, because I have a photo on my wall that I got, and it's some SD50s going around the horseshoe curve, and there's a car like that in the photo. So I'm like, I always want one of them. So
very nice.
So everything I have was 906 KDs on it, except for like the locomotive stuff, and then the what did I put the? Oh, the Campact coupler boxes. I have them at SD40-2. I bought the one box off of them. I'm very happy with that product too.
Yeah, it seems like it seems like he's done a really nice job with the Campact boxes.
You know, he's on a hiatus right now because he's having a baby. So congratulations to him.
I think his wife's having the baby, Kyle.
Well, you know what I meant, Andrew.
Andrew, I have a question from a viewer real quick.
Go for it.
So the question is to those who are new to our channels, your channel, my channel for the show, to get into the chat, they noticed that you had to be a subscriber.
Okay.
And so once they subscribe, how do they get to be in the chat? Is there a waiting period, or do they have to go back out and come back in again? Or
I think that YouTube has it set at you have to wait like a minute after you become a subscriber. But if it doesn't pop up after a minute, you might just have to refresh the page, I think.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to get on the video here on my phone, and it was telling me I can't watch it can't comment while I'm in kids mode. And I'm not in kids mode.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like, you can't comment on this while you're watching a kids video. I'm like, I'm not watching a kids video.
Did somebody else have that issue too on your channel, Sean? Like I thought I'm
the chat's going. I mean, obviously people are chatting. Yeah. I think Keith had that problem too, remember?
I think it's just a Kyle thing.
I'm I want Canadian railroads to send me pictures of these Procor rotary coil guns that he's talking about.
Oh, that would be cool.
Well,
Because he intrigued me, but he's not on the. All right, I gotta ask, Canadian, are you on Facebook? Because I think we already know this answer. You're not, right?
Nope, he's not.
So how does he get the YouTube messages on the website?
Probably.
John said he had to log in and out a few times tonight.
Yeah, but I see Manimal said that just subscribed, waited a minute, and was able to get in.
Well,
Okay.
I'm already subscribed to the channel. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I do apologize for any confusion on that for anyone, but setting it to where you need to be a subscriber has drastically cut down on the
Scamming.
amount of moderation Sean and I have to do in the chat.
Yeah, the
'Cause-
problem is we get these scammers and bots, and then it gets out of hand.
You have plans for one? Interesting.
I was just going to say real quick, Canadian Railroads, I see you said for Kyle to send you an email. I have your email. Is that okay for me to share it with Kyle and he can shoot you a message? I'm assuming that it's okay, but I'd rather ask than just say, hey, here's his email address.
I'm very intrigued by this, Canadian.
Let's see here. Yep, he said I can go ahead and so remind me after the show, Kyle, because I'll forget. And
Andrew, do you want to bring a picture up of the F3?
I was just going to ask you that actually. Let's see. Always got to make sure I switch to the other tab so I don't accidentally turn the live stream off.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, so everybody knows the problem with the USA Trains F units with their coupler boxes being somewhat weak and don't work very well. At least what I had problems with them. And the KD website is not very helpful when it comes to putting a coupler on the front of it because
it's a little hit or miss.
Yeah, I run my F unit with anything that I own, so at some points it does become a latch up and does come middle unit. So I stuck a 906 KD on the front of it and stuck the coupler box, the original grab handles that USA comes with, and I drilled 2 little holes in the bottom of it and stuck them in there so it still has that detail feature, and then re-glued the broken, like the tab that you have to remove to put the actual coupler on it because it comes with the dummy coupler from the factory.
Oh yeah, that metal dummy coupler, yeah.
I think it's plastic, Andrew, not metal.
At least sure it's metal.
Mine was plastic.
Well, maybe I'm just special.
Yeah. So that's how it looks from the front of the locomotive. And without seeing what I did underneath, because underneath the floor of the locomotive is actually a lot higher. It's almost even to. So that's the front one where you can see the piece of plastic underneath it that I. It's almost. Let's see.
I believe it was FRA regulations that on the F3 the dummy or the front coupler had to be tied off for passenger service.
Yes. So the spacer I have under there is almost like 3/4 of an inch in the front, and in the back's about the same thing. But the front, I really didn't have to trim the box at all to get it to make around the turns. But I sent Andrew a picture if you want to go to the next one of what I did with the back.
You just sent it to me now is what you're saying?
No, I sent it to you before.
Okay, for the back. Feel like I need like 10 more monitors here so I have some more real estate.
Yeah.
Is this the one we're looking for, Kyle?
Yep. So the back one, I basically moved the coupler and made sure as far as I could trim. So I trimmed like almost the whole back of the box off to the back of the coupler when it's centered. and then rotated it side to side for the slack action to make sure that I had enough leeway that I could turn the truck. And it works pretty good. It hauls pretty much everything I can throw at it. So, and it's been in one of my long latch ups with the 4 or 5 locomotives and hauling all the cars. So,
I have the picture that real quick here that Slagcat sent of that switcher, Sean, but it's from railroadpicturesarchives.net. Are you okay with showing that on here, or will we have any type of issues with that?
I don't know, but what could go wrong? I guess so. Go ahead and show it.
All right. Well, we can come to it in a minute. I got to pull it down here. I just wanted to ask real quick before I went any further with it.
oh, we're gonna get taken off the air.
That's only when Andrew says a certain thing.
I'm trying to remember what it was I said, Sean. I can't seem to remember.
Something about rail and truck.
Sean, are you okay? Are you awake?
Yeah, he hasn't had his jelly bean fix yet today.
Did all them model trains like put you to sleep today taking videotape?
Yeah.
Yeah, what show did you go to today, Sean?
I went to Greenberg and Oaks, and the Southeastern Garden Railway Society was there. But and they have a pretty large railroad or garden display. So anyway, I don't just stand on one spot and shoot videos. So it's like, so when you have these big trains running along, you're walking along with the train trying to film it as you're walking. So yeah, I did a lot of moving today.
A shaker and a mover is what you're saying, huh?
But they had some neat stuff running, and that video will be out in a day or so.
Oh, okay. So on that rear coupler, Kyle,
Yep.
The back corners of the box, those were taken off to clear the side frames of the truck.
The truck, correct. So it makes the swing.
I wasn't sure. That's kind of what I thought you were doing, but
yes.
And one thing I do like about the 906 couplers is they have a lot more side to side movement.
Correct.
I mean, so if you're running on a little bit tighter radius, you'll get a little bit more swing, but obviously you do have to do some modifications to clear the boxes.
When they're this close to something, you have to trim. Like that's the maximum you could trim off the box in the very back. Otherwise, you start modifying the coupler some more for the spring action.
Okay.
But the block is screwed to the frame of the locomotive, top and bottom. So I basically had the shell off of it when I did this. So not only is it screwed from the bottom, it's screwed to the top. So if you were to open the back door, there's a couple screw heads in there.
Did you have to cut any into the shell for the rear coupler?
Just a smidgen in the back.
Oh, let's.
Yeah, just a smidgen. Oh, I can show it here. That way. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but it's
okay.
Just a smidgen. Very a smidgen. And then the front, it is cut into like underneath the bumper there.
Yeah, you kind of have to with the USA stuff unless you want to have the offset shank couplers.
But otherwise they're way too low.
That makes sense.
Don't mind me here. I'm just looking for something real quick. So
Bruce said he put 906 on GP38 and on W2s.
Looks like we had a question from John there.
Some of the screws from the box, that came with the couplers. The other ones that go down, that go all the way through the coupler, all the way through the body, are ones I bought.
Ah, okay.
So what was happening to the S7? The pilots are breaking off or something, if I remember right.
I'm what, the F3?
Or F3s, yeah.
I just didn't like USA's coupler design because the way that the body is, like the body hangs down, and the frame is like the frame part is up here. Well, then they had like a long post, and then if you put a heavy train on it, it would start deflecting.
No.
Yeah, if you get a lot of, I mean, what Kyle has going there is pretty rock solid. I don't think you have to really worry about that breaking off.
If it breaks off, it's taking the shell with it.
Just take the whole thing with it.
I like fixing things one and done and doing it right the first time. I like to haul heavy trains. So if the locomotive I have can't haul a heavy train with its partners in crime or partners in towing, I make the couplers work.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any good sign of what happens to your stuff that doesn't cooperate, I mean,
So
these two box cars weren't playing nice, so Kyle decided to put them in timeout.
well, the Erie car is inside now, but the Pennsylvania car is an LGB car, and it was given to me, and it's kind of just my weather car. It stays outside, so when it snows, it gets a picture taken. This was the Blizzard. That was the one Conrail car I put outside just because it looked cool.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna put these two outside because it's gonna snow.
just a little bit of snow out there, right?
This is actually a really old photo. This is a couple years old.
John says if you are cold, so are your box cars.
If you're cold, so are they. Bring your box cars inside, right? Yeah, see, Slide Cat's got the right idea. Natural weathering.
It actually doesn't work that well, though, Slide Cat. It doesn't at all. You think it would, but since they're plastic, it doesn't work that well.
Yeah, I know Charlie left some hoppers outside for a couple of years trying to get some natural weathering, if I
And
remember.
it just kind of turned from a white to like a yellow and didn't do anything else.
Wow.
Which that Erie car, that's been outside a lot because before I got it.
Now, this is that F unit, but this is when you started working on what's going to be your new layout, right?
This is where I was like, okay, I'm going to put tracks down on the ground, and this is where my wife said I can build the layout because she said
very key where your wife
yes,
says you can build it. Remember that.
As long as she gets a fire pit, I can build the railroad on this side of the house.
If not, the railroad ends up in the fire pit, right?
Yeah. So the wife said, I don't care what you do in this side of the yard, but I want my fire pit. So we're going to have a double main line, and I actually went as far as moving a section of my deck from one side to another because it was in the way of the railroad. That was last summer's project.
Got in the way of progress, did it?
It got way of where the shop was going to be.
Ooh. Yeah, and I think you got some pictures here of. I was just looking there at. Oh, okay. You had to shim your track up to get it level there.
Yes, because that section of the yard is all rutted from. My neighbor has a skid steer, and we were moving rocks.
Sounds like a good neighbor to have with a garden railroad.
He's like my best buddy. Like, I do the sidewalk in the front because I do like. There's a couple old ladies, so I do their house, my house, the neighbor's house, his house, and then another old lady. And then we play a sidewalk roulette. So I'll do it one time, and then I go out to do it again, and he's already done it. So we play that game. So this is the section of where we are now standing, where I took this picture.
Okay.
The deck would have been here. So if I would have went like this and then had a derailment, I would have been crawling under the deck too much. Where now I can. It's still kind of a nuisance, but I put a door when I put the lattice work underneath the thing. But this is where the tunnel is going to be, and then it's going to S back towards near the house.
I like it.
But I should be able to reach any derailments through the tunnel openings or go through the crawl door that I left.
Now, I think, you did send me a picture.
Yes.
Kind of.
Okay. So the big circle closest to us, that's going to be like the fire pit sitting area. There's going to be like a patio there. Where this section, the other circle is
in the back here.
That deck section is actually moved.
That's over on the other side now.
That's over on the other side now. It's approximately 8 feet of deck. That's going to be like the shop area, maybe a turntable. And then over to the right is going to be like a yard. And then my neighbor's house is along that white fence. I put railroad ties on the property line, so I will be within legal. So if he ever sells the house, I don't have to move the railroad or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's what was in this picture, right?
Yeah, that's the railroad ties. Yep. So the property line is on the other side. It's kind of like between the fence and the railroad ties.
I got a question.
Yes, Sean.
The picture before that, was that the one you were working with in paint?
What?
The picture before this, was that the one you were working with in paint?
Oh, let me back it up. That one?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yes, that's what I was trying to draw in paint.
Okay, that's what
before the show.
Hey, I think you did a pretty good job. I mean,
well,
I'd hang it on my refrigerator.
I'm using my.
I'm just kidding, Kyle.
I'm using the wife's computer, and I'm not familiar with the new paint at all. Like, I'm used to Windows 97 or 98.
Wow.
Or no.
I was going to say, even Sean's more advanced than that.
Windows Professional 2000 or something like that. Paint. So
Windows 2000 Pro was awesome. I ran that for years.
Well, that's what's on my computer. So it's like, I don't know how to use this new fancy paint on her laptop. So.
I know, Sean. What are you going to do?
John says he wants to come over and show you how to make a steam engine roll over and play dead.
John does seem to have a knack for doing that. The thing of the steam engines, I thought I found a video here where you had some live steam running.
Live steam? Yeah.
Ah, there it is. Let's see here.
I think that was New Year's Day last year. It was cold that day.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that was New Year's Day last year.
Now, who makes this little steam locomotive? Wow, that thing's flying.
Acurcraft. Acurcraft makes it, and then I got it through Jeremy and Charlie, and Jeremy had put a different jet in it.
Oh, okay. I'm like, a jet. Like, what are you talking about?
It's the tip.
It's not the kind of jet you fly in, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm like, a jet? Like, what are you talking about?
Andrew, there's that Pennsylvania boxcar sitting on top of the railroad ties there, just so you know. It is outside.
So is this alcohol, butane?
This is butane. And then the 3 cars it's hauling, I got them from my dad's neighbor when he was moving away at a yard sale. And like he had them all weathered and detailed. The only thing I have to do is get metal wheels on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they seem to go well with it.
Oh, yeah. It pulls it great.
We were going to show that picture that Slag Cat had sent over. And I forget what the reference was to this picture now, but if you want to remind me, Slag Cat, if I can't come up with it, but what were we talking about? Talking about that for now? Good grief. Let's see. There it is. All right,
Looks
Slide
like
Cat. I know you're in the chat yet. What was the reference to this picture now?
He's talking about making some kind of rotary cars, wasn't he?
No, that's
Oh.
AK steel switcher. I get that part, Slide Cat, but I'm confused. Looks like a 1500 or something.
I thought there was some context to it earlier in the show when we were looking at your switcher, but I can't seem to wrap my mind around that about now. Let's see here. I was trying to scroll back through to see if there was something in there that he mentioned about it.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, sorry, Slide Cat, if you had mentioned there was some reason why we were talking about this picture, it just completely slipped my mind.
He's still in the chat.
Yeah, I see he's in there. I was just waiting to see if he commented.
There goes that bad Ford transmission again. Slipping.
Bad Ford transmission.
They used to switch iron label or coat. Okay.
Okay.
What?
That's definitely a well-used looking locomotive.
Yeah.
All right. I was trying to think, Kyle. Was there anything else that we hadn't looked at?
We could talk about the K4 behind me. That's
You got a K4 behind you.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see because it's heavy and I don't have anything right behind me to stand it on, so I stuck 2 chairs and put it on there.
See, I might have a video of it running. I pulled down.
Should be a couple, 2, 3.
Those are diesels. That's live steam.
There's a few from Charlie's house that they should be on there.
No, I thought I specifically pulled one down for it earlier, but maybe I didn't.
The most recent one would be the Pocono Mountain setup.
Joseph was asking if that's an AML K4.
Yes, Joseph. Yep.
Yeah. Now, didn't you actually renumber that one?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I renumbered it, so because it wasn't the number I wanted. But
okay. Let's see.
And then during one of your shows, I handmade the coal load for it. So I basically put coal in the tender, and then sat there with Elmer's glue and white glue and water with an eyedropper, just dropping it over it to get it to stay. So
okay.
That was very painful. Took 2 hours to do that.
Just a little bit of time?
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Here, I'll grab the tender. So that is actual real coal, all hand laid. It's got a little tiny bump to it.
Oh, that came out really nice, Kyle.
Yeah. So this sucker ain't light for everybody that knows that has one.
No, like I said, I've seen a couple of them. Now, are they metal or are they just plastic?
They're brass. They're full
They're
brass. The only plastic is like in between the drivers.
John says, make it go roll over and go to sleep.
We can do that on Charlie's layout because it's basically built like a live steam locomotive, the way they AML did it, because the motor drives a shaft. The shaft comes in at an angle to the center driver and is geared to the center driver, but is like freewheeled.
Well, I think they use the same base model for the live steam and the electric.
I was looking for parts, and the only thing that is different is the boiler's a little different because obviously they don't have a boiler tube in it. It's fully open, but like the running gear itself is the live steam running gear.
Okay. Like
Joseph,
if you stop that on a hill, it will roll, right?
if there's electrical power to it in going the opposite direction, it won't move. Like,
okay.
I Revo powered it, and most of the time it will not move going up a hill if there, even with no load behind it, until it hits 50 on the Revo controller. Just the way the motors ran.
Okay.
To answer your question, Ted, yes. I took some coal, I put it in I forget what I put it in, and I took a hammer and just whacked it probably 2-3 times. And then I took the coal, and I had the tender. I had just the shell in my hand. And while I was watching Andrew's show, I laid it out and kind of packed it down a little bit, and then sat there with the water dropper with the glue in the water and let it solidify over time.
And it's just the standard white glue. You didn't have to get the clear stuff.
Yeah, because it dries clear. As long as it dries clear.
Okay.
There's some spots that if you look hard enough, but you won't be able to see them in the camera, that you can see where it was glue. But other than that, you can't tell.
All right. So one thing I was was there anything else that you wanted to talk about yet, Kyle?
If anybody wants me to talk about anything back here, we can do that too. I don't care.
All right. Well, I was going to mention. Oh wait, I was looking to see someone. Well, yeah. Slide Cat was saying as far as the Elmer's glue until it gets wet, because I guess I probably will reactivate it, huh?
I won't let it get wet, so. It's not a locomotive that you'll take out in the snow. Let's just say that.
That's kind of like that car you keep in the garage for nice days, right?
Yes.
So, one thing I was going to mention, a lot of people, get custom decals made up, and a lot of people have had decals over the years done by Stan Cedarleaf. And I saw, was it about a week ago? I think I saw where he had passed away. I saw it posted in several different groups. People said he had passed on, and I reached out to a couple people to try and get some pictures, because I thought it'd be nice to just kind of take a look at some of the decal work that Stan did over the years that allowed people to kind of put together the things that they wanted. So give me 1 second here. Let's see. So this first picture I have was from Mark Bottrell, and these were decals that Stan had done up for him to, I believe this is a U versus C. I'm going to get it wrong.
That's the 6-wheeled one. So get it right, Andrew. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a U33 though. It's like a C30-7 or something like that. If I got it all wrong.
Yeah,
C30. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. NSNJ said C30-79.
Yeah, so that's one project that Stan had done. I have a couple pictures here that Mike Stokes had provided to me for some cars that Stan had done decals for on him. And the thing I always noticed with any of the decals that Stan did was they were always very crisp and top notch. And I actually have a set of decals that I got from him that I have yet to use. So I hope I don't mess any of them up when I go to do my project. But the decals I got, this next picture here, these are from Tom Ball. The decals I have are actually to do exactly what Tom did here with these F3s. Is actually, I think you got a set of these in O scale, don't you, Sean?
Yes.
But I have decals to do an ABA set of these USA F3s and CNJ, and these were decals that Stan had done up for Tom Ball for those.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
something that USA Train should have did on their own. Actually.
yeah, yeah. I've got
USA
the.
Train should have painted one black and Penn Centraled it.
I would have bought that all day long. And something you don't see in G scale a whole lot. This is decals for a 250 ton wreck crane that Stan had done for Tom as well for NS. And something you really don't see too often in G scale was this gas turbine. Stan did the decals for this as well for Tom. Now, what radius curves that takes, I couldn't tell you, but I'm guessing not 4-foot diameter, Kyle.
No, definitely not.
Like I said, everything I've seen that Stan ever did over the years was always very, very nice. Let's see here. I always like to try and make sure I give the proper credit to who sent me the picture. Jake Littlefield. This is a Pan Am Railways SD40-2 that Stan had done the decals for.
That's nice looking.
Yeah. Yeah, he did those. And let's see if I had any other ones here. These here are actually, this next one, Mike Zader, that was 2 shows ago, that was doing the thing on carloads. These are decals that Stan did for him for these 2 Conrail hoppers.
Yes, please. Send
Yeah.
them over here, please.
Yeah, I held off too long, asking Mike about it. I would have liked to have gotten a set of decals from Stan for those, but once again, they came out really, really well. And
Andrew, look, I got to answer a question here.
Oh, sure thing.
To answer Kenny's question, yes, it is an Aristo brass caboose hanging out on back on the shelf. I'm currently in the process of getting lights in it because it's boring without lights. I'll have to talk to my LED guy, Cody, and figure out what LEDs I need to buy.
Yeah.
And then there was another question. I forget who it was from. Let's see. The Affinities Hobby Channel. Let's see. We got an SD40-2, NW2, the 3 GP38s, GP9, GP30, Conrail Center Flow, a custom-made coil shield car, the dump car that MTH made, the 2 cabooses that USA made. No, 3 cabooses because I have the center cupola, the one sitting on the shelf there, I forget what they call that, and the bay window one. The box cars that the 50 footers, the Aristo 40 footer, all the 70 tons that USA made except for 1 road number for the wood chip car.
Kyle has a Conrail problem.
Possibly. And then I have 5 Bethgons, or coal porters as AML calls them. That's a nice shot in the snow.
Yeah, this is Jonathan Straczynski. These are all decals that Stan did for him. And I got a couple pictures from him, actually. I got that one. Yeah, these are all for Jonathan's railway that he had done up. And then, you were talking about the Bachman hoppers earlier, Kyle. Jonathan actually has a whole mess of the Bachman ones that I'm going to go dizzy here, zooming in and out on that. Stan did all the decals so he could do them in chassis system, and Jonathan was actually in the middle of working on a new order with Stan to get some more stuff done before he passed away. But I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that have had decals done by Stan over the years. So I thought it was nice at least to just show some of the stuff that he's done. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Slag Cat says Conrail addiction. I agree. It's not a bad addiction to have, though, Slag Cat.
Is there anywhere else? Any way else like that?
And I got John, the French American, telling me to check my messenger.
The French American.
Well, that's what he said earlier. He said he was the French American.
Oh, okay.
Okay. John sent me a picture of a coach. All right, let my browser close out. You screwing with my stuff, Sean?
No.
All right, I'll just blame the cat. How's that?
That's what you normally do, blame the cat.
What are you gonna do? All right, I just got to crop the photo that John sent me because it's a screenshot of his phone. Let's see here.
Wee.
Oh yeah. It's a rolling joke because we never pronounce John's last name correctly. So I just always tease him about being a French Canadian. Here we go. Here's a John just sent this to me in Messenger for his K&K Railroad. These are decals that Stan did up for him as well. I'm trying to think. Stan had been in this for years, hadn't he? I mean, you've done the East Coast show for quite a few years, Sean. When was the first time you had heard about Stan?
Well, I think I first went there in like 2009, I'm thinking. And he was there then.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm pretty sure that he was he was in the shows at that point in time because he would have his own booth, and
I'm guessing down in the bottom down here, John, below the windows is where you're saying there's names of each member of your immediate family. That's okay, John. The picture. I think the picture's decent enough for what we're doing.
And I would like to show one myself.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, what the heck's going on? I forgot you could do that on your end.
Yeah. So I always wanted a G-scale railgun, and so Stan made me these decals.
Oh, okay.
Sean, what did you do with that car?
When I got out of G-scale in 2015, I sold it.
You should have kept it.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit, Sean?
I'll try.
Was that fully custom made?
Yes. Matter of fact, I talked to Charlie Rowe.
Well, that's a flat car and a wood chip topper hop, right?
Yes. I talked to Charlie Senior about actually making gondola cars, more modern ones, because I didn't really like the Aristo versions. And then I actually brought this to I forgot what year, the East Coast Horse Scale Train Show, and showed it to him. He actually liked it, but he never moved forward into doing anything like this. Because I always liked the more modern day stuff, and this was something I always wanted to do. And I actually based this on a real photo, much like what you would have done, Kyle. I stumbled upon this photo of this exact car online. So this is not the car number, the GNXT. Everything about this car is for real. I copied that TTX car exactly. And
Well,
Stan did a great job in creating these decals, but that's all it is. It's just it's
Did you
yeah.
do
USA
did you
Trains
do
did it.
any mod to the wood chip topper hop, or you just set it right on there?
No, it actually fit right on top. I was surprised. It
Because
was
I have a couple of those that I pulled off because I just wanted to use the cars as hoppers. And thanks again, Kyle, for the coal loads that I have in those.
But yeah, USA Trains did a survey, and the 40-foot and 50-foot gondolas were part of that survey that was done in California from that train show over there, the West Coast version of the G scale train show. But the only thing that ever came out of that survey, everybody wow, was FDF. I mean, they proposed the 40 and 50-foot gondola cars.
there was
There
a K4 in there too.
There was a K4. There was an F40 PH, which I think was a big mistake of them not going forward with that.
Yeah. I mean,
But this was one of the few customs. I mean, I was a little. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was a little intimidated about doing my own full blown custom because there's nothing. You're doing something to this extent. You don't want to screw it up, or you're afraid to make that kind of attempt. And I just said, I really wanted something bad enough that I wanted to, go out on my own and do. And so this is what I came up with. And like I said, this is a photo. I think it was a 66-foot mill gondola that I actually copied off of. But the like I said, the car number, the reporting mark, the railgun, the TTX, everything about that is from a real railgun TTX, and I believe it's a 66-foot mill gondola.
hmm. I'd be curious to see.
And I made this back in I think 2013 or something like that. Back all the way back then, and because like I said, I like the modern day stuff. And when I showed it to, I actually brought it to, like I said, East Coast Hard Scale Train Show, and I showed it to Charlie Rose Senior. I'm like, this is what you should be making. This is something that people would buy. That was I don't know, 2013. We're talking about a long time ago, and I
Yeah.
see people in the chat saying now that they would buy this car if USA Trains made it. So. I know it would sell.
It's not like it would be too hard for them to do it. I mean, I mean, flat cars and wood chip topper hops. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, is it the right way? But it's something that they can make from
yeah,
pieces and do it here at the
Well, they have the mold to make the top part, so they just
yeah.
have to like redesign a floor to fit in there. And well, that's
I mean,
like when at the 2019 show, Jeff Smuts had that coil shield car. He tried to sell it to me because he made two of them when he made mine, and USA picked it up.
oh, okay.
So I don't know if they were thinking of making that because it was started with a USA flat car.
But yeah, so Stan made me these decals, and he did a nice job. And I met Stan originally when I started doing my first videos. I think in 2010, and I didn't know it until at that point in time in 2010. Stan, I remember to this day, Stan talking to me, and he seen my first couple videos, and he see I was a little frustrated because it wasn't really working out well. And Stan's like, "Look, I used to be a professional wedding photographer,
Oh,
And I
really?
can give you, yeah, and I can give you some points. And I said, I didn't know you were originally a wedding photographer. So he gave me some points and how to use the camera, how to move with it, and he helped me. And I won't forget that.
As I say, if you said something and you're waiting for me to answer, Sean, I accidentally unplugged my headphones. So
Okay.
I plugged them back in and you're sitting there quiet looking at me. I'm like,
But yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own likes and what they like and stuff. For me, it's more modern day. Some people like the older stuff, but with a gondola, that basically fits all those time periods. You know what I mean?
oh,
Because
absolutely.
they had gondolas back during the wartime and all the way up until now.
I agree with you, Joseph. 100%. That I
But,
agree with you 100%.
oh, about narrow gauge
Narrow
and
gauge or
logging engines.
logging locomotive.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in G scale that are into that, but it's just like with anything, you got to have something to appeal to all the
Y-
different variety of people
Yeah,
out there.
you're
Yeah,
not going to
exactly.
make a one-off thing anymore. We don't have the budget that Aristo had when they first started,
Yeah, Aristo pumped out a lot of stuff, that's for sure.
and fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say as far as new stuff, like I don't think we really have any new updates on like the Bachmann Dash Nines or the AML GP60s. I haven't seen anything new posted from Bachmann, and I had gotten an email back from AML a couple weeks ago, I believe it was, and they're still working on getting everything finalized on the GP60s. So I mean they haven't stalled out yet, but I wasn't given any type of time frame or anything. I think it's kind of the situation of the world right now that's causing the big hang up, just with logistics and getting things delivered and all that other good stuff. Like I said before, as soon as I get mine, I'll show them to everybody. When that'll be, I'm not sure.
And
But
Everybody else is going to get one, and Andrews will be hung up in customs or something like that.
thanks, Kyle.
You are welcome, Andrew. You know
That's
it's going to
that's that's
happen.
exactly what's going to happen now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was just going to respond to Kenny's comment, but Manimal already got it. Great Trains was smaller. It was 132nd,
Yeah,
and their detail in the F40 was lacking. So
I've seen some people that took the Great Trains F40 and added the missing details to them, and actually made them look really good. But if I remember correctly, with the Great Trains F40, I believe they made like a short version of it, and then they made like a one that was more like true to scale as far as length, because they did the same thing with their superliner cars. I think too. They made short ones and then
yes, yeah,
longer ones. Let's
yeah,
see.
because a lot of
NS
people were complaining about the pricing, so you shortened them up a little bit.
looks like NSNJ Railfan says supposedly March for GP60.
Fake news.
Mine will be March 2023 because it'll get hung up in customs because Kyle said it.
NS NJ Railfan, we're going to hold you to that.
um, I was just going to say, if we had any updates on, I don't think we've had any updates on like the East Coast show or anything. I think that's still
Yeah,
something that's being worked out right now.
yeah. I talked to Dan, and there's still stuff that has to be worked out. Dan did mention as soon as he gets confirmation, he will post it on the East Coast Solar Scale Train Show website, the www.els yeah elcts.com. He'll post it there as soon as he gets the confirmation. but there's still things he's working out right now.
What's that website again?
Let me.
If it's ELCTS, I can buy that for $1,895. I think that's not the right one.
Hold on here.
East Coast, so East, yeah. Let's try this again.
EC.
Yeah, ECLSTS.com.
All right. I feel like I was back on Sesame Street for a minute.
You got it now?
Yep, I got it. I just pulled up the site.
Okay.
They just have a thank you up there for the people that attended 2021 and looking forward to 2022 right now.
Right. So the location, the time, and the date, he's still working on.
Location.
And response to Dave's Trains and Automobiles comment there, I've got my 3D printer sitting brand new in the box shed over there next to me. Hopefully, eventually, one day I put it together here.
To answer Slagcat's question, yes, there will be a train show video tomorrow. I'm thinking it might be 2 or 3, at least 2. One of those videos will be G scale and focused on the Southeastern Pennsylvania Garden Railway Society. They did a good job today displaying and promoting the G scale hobby, the garden train hobby. Phil, it's hard for me to keep track who's the president and vice president anymore, but Phil's been the past president, past years. I'm not sure what his rank is now, but he's always answering questions and helping everybody out. So, and they ran some great modern day trains today. So, if you like modern day trains, you're gonna like what the club did today in the video that I put out.
Oh, I look forward to it. Well, all right. Well, I guess, did anybody have any questions left? Want to know what Kyle has on the shelf behind him?
Andrew, do you have time to share one of the K4 videos or no? Or
yeah,
you can't find one?
No, if I find one here, I can pull it down. It'll just take me a minute. I see Manimal said the Amherst shows at the end of the month at the Big E. I'm not super familiar with that one. Are you, Sean?
I know about it. Heath has actually been to the Amherst show.
Yeah, I was gonna.
It's
yes.
like it's a train show.
Speaking of Heath,
there you go. Yeah. But Amherst is pretty big. Heath has been there, and it's like multiple buildings. It's almost like a York show where there's multiple buildings that these trains are in, and it's HOO. I mean, it's all scales of trains. And normally USA Trains is at the Amherst show.
Oh, Heath says he'll be there. Hot dogs on Heath. He's buying all day long.
Well, Heath, if you're going to the Amherst show, I invite you to stop off at the USA Trains booth. Their G scale. They got some huge, cool, G scale trains.
Uh-oh.
So
it looks like the lunatic showed up. Mr. Gus Hadley. Gus is a good guy. He's retired from the railroad. I got to meet him in person when I was down at Sean Fields over the summer. No, Heath, you will not get a free GG1, especially not a G scale one.
Yeah, I mean, Heath, if you have about $800, you can walk away with one with no electronics in it.
That's if they have any left.
Yeah.
The last time I think they had one Conrail unit.
Oh, he was
Pennsylvania units.
He was looking at the MTH ones too, because they made the 1 gauge ones were a little bit less expensive. But now that everybody's talking about this Amherst show, I'm curious how long it would take me to actually get to that.
As long as it takes you to get to my house.
We'll be talking by bicycle, car, plane, car.
I don't know, possibly. Wait, does it involve you leaving early in the morning and getting at Charlie's at like I don't know, 3 hours past the time you said you were going to.
Oh boy.
That's not my fault. That was inherited from my father.
Oh,
I remember
3 hours, huh?
Oh, my dad was always like that. I remember having a cookout the one time, and I told him a time 3 hours in advance of what it was. And as he was just about to show up on time, he called to let me know he was sorry he was late. And I said, "That's all right. I told you 3 hours off anyhow, because I knew you'd be late." And then he had some choice words for me, but
oh, interesting. So that's what I have to do to Andrew now.
yeah, you just got to give the wrong time. Massachusetts.
That's a long drive, Andrew.
Yes, it is.
It's a long drive for me.
So
Plus, it's in January, so it's hard for me to get off from work that soon.
it's a long drive for me too, Dershawn. We're about the same distance.
Yeah, I can say I don't think I've ever been in Massachusetts yet.
You ain't missing anything because once you get near
Jeez, Sean.
once you get near Boston, you're sitting in traffic. I've been there. You're sitting in traffic. It's almost as bad as New York. You're sitting in the Boston traffic for hours and hours in the morning. It's like it takes almost 20 minutes to travel a mile.
I guess I'll just have to go and crash at Heath's place and sleep on his couch. Or sleep in his studio. That might be the better place. I could play with his time saver layout, Wow, yeah, it's about 8 hours, 18 minutes. Wow.
So it would take you about 12.
Um, yeah, after the wife has 15 to 20 p breaks, yeah.
Sean,
I think she's.
I got a question from coming into G Scale, you having your layout in the basement. I am confused by this picture in your backyard.
Yeah. I never had a layout outdoors. So what I did is I had some aristo-craft track just laying around I wasn't using. So I just laid it down. But yeah, that's fake.
This is fake, false advertisement.
There is no.
This should be on the floor of your basement, going through your wall.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I never had an outdoor layout because in New Jersey I probably would
Oh
only.
yeah, I was going to say I didn't even think about that. It's sitting outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, wait, but you do have a rock garden, though, right?
Rock garden. But because between the bugs and the heat and all that stuff, I just said, "Heck with it. I'll just build my G scale layout inside."
Yeah, I'm looking here real quick, Kyle, to see if I can
Do
find a
I have
video
to do
of
it?
the K4.
Do I have to do it real fast?
Hang on, I'm looking. The trouble is some of the videos where they start at, it's hard for me to tell if it's the one with the K4 in it or not. It's a race.
Joseph, it takes me 2 hours to go from where I'm at to Edison. So, yeah, it takes for me.
Andrew, if you go to my videos,
Okay.
The 1, 2, 3, 4. The second row from the very top. One of those 4 or 5 are the K4. It's right underneath the O scale layout from the Christmas train.
And
okay.
It's one. Yeah. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds long, or there's 1 minute and 5 seconds long.
I just got to grab the video here. So what's this Randall Ellison's talking about? Did you get run over in Memphis or something, Sean?
Well, I didn't get run over because
okay.
I'm usually the one that does the running over.
Wow. Okay. Remind me to stay out of Jersey. Let's see here.
Gus Hadley. I didn't get on the next crossing 24-hour stream, but I did chat with him a little bit here and there while he had that That's one thing I would never do is a 24-hour live stream.
I thought that's what you were doing for like the 8,000 subscriber celebration.
No,
10,000?
no.
He's gonna do that and talk about the O scale track that he bought for his layout again.
O scale. Oh, Randall was talking about himself almost getting run over in Memphis. Okay. That was probably, you probably almost got ran over because Sean was the one driving when you were crossing the street. All right, let's see here. I think I have this video now. Let's see. Video. As long as I went to the right folder. Aha.
Yeah, you might want to turn the volume down because it's obnoxiously loud. Now this is on Charlie Zigerman's layout. So for you that know that this is an extreme grade for G scale. So
yeah, it is just a little bit.
The K4 does not pull very well unless it's on a flat ground.
I think it's because of that direct drive it has from the motor.
Correct. So there's one of them Procor tank cars that you were talking about, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now Sean's like chewing on his bottom lip because you're running that big modern tank car right behind the steam locomotive.
But if you're not paying attention to it, you have to drive it like a real locomotive. Where if you're going downhill, you have to slow it down a little bit because it will take off. Where at one point at Charlie's Railroad, it did take off. It overcome the chuff sensor and was going like down the hill.
Kind of like putting gasoline in a diesel engine, huh?
Yeah, kind of.
It just runs away from itself.
Yeah.
At least I think that's how that works, right, Sean? If you put gas in a diesel,
it doesn't do very good.
No, not at all.
So, yeah. I think if I had a chance to get an AML K4 at a decent price, I probably wouldn't pass it up, but it's not on my short list.
Mr. Bill Lynch, if he's still in here, he has my hex right now for picking up one for $200.
$200?
Yeah. He was in here. I don't know where he went.
I mean, the rare deals do come along at times. I mean,
yeah.
I think it was about 2 years ago that I was on Craigslist and came across an Aristo Mikado for like $250.
Oh, that's like that. That's the same place I got the brass Aristo caboose for $50.
Yeah, you got a better deal than me. I think I had to pay like $120 for the one I have, and yours actually has all the windows in it. Mine are falling out. I got to open it up.
Well, I had to open mine up and glue a couple of windows back on, and it was only missing. Well, the one solder joint for the one railing was broken. That was it. Because most of all that know them did not make very good soldering joints.
Yeah, and that's why most of them. And I wonder at times how many of the. Oh, there's Bill.
Oh, you paid $100. Oh, that's even worse.
I tend to wonder at times how many of those cabooses actually made it out into circulation.
Made it out of the shipping container.
Yeah, and how many actually were made? Like how many actually got sent back?
Because there's nothing. I have one of the original boxes, and it doesn't tell you how many were made.
Yeah, no, that's how mine is. It's just a yellow box with a label on the end of it.
Now it does say paint. What does it say? It does say painted, so I'm wondering if they did make an unpainted version that we've never seen.
That's a good question. But yeah, that seemed the main issue with those was just cold solder joints, because I have that issue with mine where some of the railings and stuff have fallen off of them.
Yes.
I've debated about if I could just use super glue to put it back together or not, but I'm not sure if that's the right adhesive for the job.
They're beautiful cars, but I ended up putting 906 KDs on it and actually kind of made it work out better than I thought it was going to do when I started working on it. But they're beautiful cars, but they just, I don't know. That's what I did.
Um,
Super glue the handles back on, I think. That's
yeah.
what he's talking about.
So when you put the 906s on yours, Kyle, was it pretty straightforward?
Let me
Or
grab it.
let's go to the Kyle cam.
All right, so the way that these are made, I got to look at it again. The chassis, like the top comes off, and it has a metal frame underneath it. The metal, like,
And those trucks that are on that were made special for that too, because I don't think I've ever
correct.
seen those on anything else.
Now, see, it has like the metal, like C channel.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I cut that, the C part off, and left the flat stock. And
So
then
you could tap through that. Okay.
and then on the ends,
Not on the camera, Kyle.
oh, sorry. I'm forgetting what I did because it's been a while. Oh, so the angle, the channel that comes out to the end of the car is actually below the mesh on the end of the car. So the heads of the bolts are actually underneath it. To answer your question, Bill, somebody had a system in it before I bought it, so all the electronic stuff was in the tender. To do yours, you would have to take it apart and do what I did and run everything. Well, what they did to run everything to the tender. I put a Revo in it.
But you said on yours you actually used the chuff sensor on it, right?
The chuff sensor from AML was two metal like feelers that went to a roller on the wheel, and it sucked. So I glued magnets to the wheel and bought a chuff sensor.
So which wheel did you put the magnets on? Like the trailing truck wheel, or actually on the drive wheels?
On the driver.
Oh, okay.
Because it worked the best. And then I was at the one show and the glue failed, so I'm like, why is the chuff all screwed up? It's like, I'm like, what the one magnet was stuck to the other magnet, so it was like throwing it off real fast. But yeah, when I put the KD on it, I had to trim the end of the car a little bit, obviously. And then, but you can't see the head of the bolts, so.
No, I think I came out good. The one I have, the person I got it from, they put the whatever the smaller like 132 couplers were, and they were the ones that have like just like the fixed straight shank on them, and they just kind of slid them in there and bolted it on. It works, but I've wanted to change mine, but as you know, you can imagine, a little bit apprehensive of hacking that caboose up.
John, that's the NC5.
N5C?
Yeah, N5C.
N5C. All right. Well, is there anything else that we wanted to cover over tonight?
Oh, hey, Mr. Canadian, do you have any of these cars?
Uh-oh. What you got?
I'm not sure if he's talking Canadian Railways or John.
Yeah, Canadian Railroad. Do you have any of these cars?
Oh.
Do you have any of these? This is a new thing that Charlie and I are into.
And that is the USA, or that was AML?
This is the AML one.
Yeah, you were looking for the USA, and AML made what? Two
USA one. AML made like 4 of these cars. Aristo made a hopper. But Charlie's only been able to find the one car. He found the caboose. The locomotive's the wrong color, and it's weird. USA made a locomotive, but was wondering if anybody in
Steve Benko had the locomotive, and he stripped it and made it a Canadian National, I think.
40 is too old for my railroad. Well, Canadian, that doesn't help me.
40 foot is too old.
That was worth a try, I guess.
John says, let's see the long gondola. The one hanging half off the shelf.
That's not a gondola. That is a sideways passenger car.
So John can teach his locomotives to roll over and play dead, and you teach your passenger cars.
That's how Charlie stored them.
I'd hate to see you guys run a passenger excursion train together.
Hey, we have No, I'm not going to say it. I'll jinx myself. But
No,
not
go right ahead, because I'm going to be thinking about you when my AML GP60s are stuck in customs for a year or something.
Hey. Hey, this guy over here. Beer 877. You have 3 boxcars. Are they all the three same? Are they all the 3 same numbers? Are they USA? Are they AML? Very interested.
Yeah. Because what you thought the one that you guys had was USA.
I thought the one that we got was USA, and then when Charlie brought the box out, it was in an AML box, and it's an AML number. Because the box says Canadian. Here. The box literally says Canadian G-scale trains.
That's
and then, but that's
yeah.
AML. That's the way AML does them.
But the front of the box doesn't say AML on it though.
No.
Yeah, I remember seeing that where like they're labeled different in Canada.
Yeah,
it's like a different distributor or something.
These were made for the one hobby shop up there. Mammal 20. Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, Benner says 1 AML and 2 USA. And to answer Joseph Lipinski's question on the GP60, I ordered one of the NS, and then the other one is the Southern Heritage. It's actually like a GP59, I think is what they have it labeled as. And with my luck, those will probably be the 2 road names that they do last. But, I'm a Conrail guy, and obviously they didn't have any GP60s, and I was trying to debate back and forth about what I wanted to get. And I thought the combination of the NS with the Southern Heritage one would look kind of neat. I'm not sure what Bill Lynch is talking about here. Is that for KNAP?
Art Nap.
Oh.
Art Nap was a Canadian
possibly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It doesn't say on the box, so I don't know.
Didn't USA distribute some of their stuff in Canada, Sean, under a different label or something?
No, it was the same labels that Art Nap was importing them and selling them in Canada. And Art Nap did some special custom runs with USA trains. They did some. I'm trying to remember if it was Canadian National or Canadian Pacific switchers. I would have to go back and look at my own archives, but they did. Art Nap did do some special custom runs with USA trains.
Notice how Sean said his archives and not USA's archives.
Well, that's because USA never made their own archives.
It still doesn't make sense to me. They've been a Lionel dealer forever, and you can go back forever and figure out what Lionel made, and USA can't keep track of it.
Yeah,
that cracks me up.
Yeah.
If you double check what the address is. Yeah, if you go to usatdb.largescaletrains.com, that's where we've uploaded all of the photos and that Sean collected to show all the different different stuff USA's made. Let me see if I can.
And make sure you know no affiliation with USA Trains.
Well, Sean, that only happened to Sean once when everybody was calling him wanting to buy stuff from the show,
or wanting warranty work done,
or warranty work.
Sean, did you tell us that USA Trains even uses your website?
Yes.
Oop, that ain't what I wanted.
And they actually USA Trains. Charlie Rowe told me he actually tells people to go to my website to see what they made.
That even cracks me up more.
But I started cataloging that stuff back in 2003 or four, and so glad that I did back then because you know how impossible it
Oh,
would be to
definitely,
do that now.
definitely. And what irks me about it is if USA makes something and they sell out of it, they delete it off their website.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I disagreed with Charlie on, and we had a little argument. But you never win an argument with Charlie Rose Senior if anybody's ever talked to him. But I'm like, Charlie, why would you start all over again with the stock numbers for the Woodside reefers? I said you should have went from a 6 digit to a 7 digit stock numbering system instead of starting over again. So now you got like R16001 stock number, which is a USA Trains Woodside reefer, will now be, either this road name or it could be that road name. And he did the same thing with the piggyback cars, like some of the R1700 series numbers, which are the piggybacks. He used over again as military car stock numbers. So, yeah.
So the numbers aren't necessarily
No,
unique then.
that's
No,
like all of the Conrail hoppers in 70-ton have the same model number on the box, and then it just has in a little hyphen what road number it is.
yeah.
And
And
it's like,
and this stuff that is showing up with the car matrix system, I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you right now, USA Trains never kept up on that.
no,
There could be more numbers or there could be less numbers depending on the sales.
Hey, I'm just glad that you collected the info that you did on this stuff.
yes.
And a lot of stuff never even made it to the catalog.
I was gonna say I don't think I remember ever seeing this sun-kissed one. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, that was a limited edition.
What,
That's it. You know what that was? I remember now. They made it, and Charlie wasn't happy with the artwork. So only a couple of those were sold, and he decided to repaint them.
That's kind of interesting. What Dave's Trains and Automobiles is saying there. Did you see that, Sean?
What's that? Sometimes USA Trains made stuff that if they deleted it and they don't have it, and you call and ask about it, they want to buy it back off of you. There was a Paps car. Yep, they want it back very rare. There was a couple cars that USA Trains made that became rare because of trademark improper use of trademarks. Like there's a few examples of those I can name off.
I like these chrome F units that they did.
Yeah, they came in a special box. They were an ABBA set, and they actually were limited edition, and it came with an actual certificate of authenticity. They were trying to do a PB, set. They actually made a sample run, which I did get a picture of, but he didn't get any bites as far as possible sales, so that never went into production.
So how many of these sets did they make in those chrome ones, Sean?
I think it's right around 200.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But yeah, anyone that is interested in taking a look at that, like I said, I put the link in the chat. NSNJ Railfan asked, but
And you will see photos. You will see photos of other stuff that never made it to the catalog, like those Rio Grande cookie box cars down there. They're not in any catalog. You're not going to find them in any catalog. They were limited edition runs. Those are the American Steel, the American Steel Box Car Series. There was 4 different road numbers of them, and they were done in house at Charles Rowe. So that was and I think Cody bought them all.
Yeah, I think he does have the cookie box cars.
But they're pretty rare. They're pretty hard to get.
Yeah, if I look through some of the videos on my channel, I think I got some videos where he was running them. I was going to say, has there been any new stuff you've gotten, Sean, that I need to update this site with, or I don't think
Quite
it's really changed
honestly,
much.
I haven't changed it or added much to it because I sort of like wasn't sure how I was going to be able to separate the new R1600 series between the old versions. I was trying to talk Charlie into restructuring the numbering system, but he said absolutely not. I'm not doing that. And it's like I don't understand why or what could be so hard about restructuring the numbering system to go 7 digits to the next one up. I don't know. Is there a manufacturing cost to the labels? I mean, I don't understand this.
Well, it could be any type of strange reason. I'm sure. I mean, it's hard to say, I guess.
Yeah,
Look like Cody answered your question. He says he has all of them.
yeah. I thought he did. I thought he had. And then another guy, I forget his name, but he bought a lot of my Rio Grande ones that were hard to find. That were really hard to find. There was a lot of. I had a lot of rare Rio Grande cars too.
Okay.
Matter of fact, when I went up there to visit USA Trains, that's where I was talking about my Massachusetts trip that wasn't too good. Stuck in Boston traffic for an hour. But, Charlie I found some rare Rio Grande samples that he had. I'm like, wow, what's this? What's that? He goes, I'll sell it to you. I'll sell it to you. He's like, okay. And I started buying that stuff, the rare one-off Rio Grande samples. And I came home with 4 or 5 of them from his warehouse or store warehouse.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up for the evening here.
Yeah.
We will be back in 2 weeks. Our next show. Let's see here. Say the name the right way if I get back to my website here. Uh, our guest is actually going to be the owner of Splitjaw, the
Sweet.
new owner of the new Splitjaw, which he can probably explain that a little bit better on the show. But it is, come on, the page load up. Dave Bergman is who our guest is going to be. So we'll get to hear a little bit about how he came to be the new owner of Splitjaw, the products he's making. He's got some new stuff that he's working on. I think he'll show us some sneak peeks of, and just a little bit in general about him. He has his own layout and everything. But that'll be our guest here coming up in a couple of weeks. So I want to say thank you very much, Kyle, for coming on the show tonight. I know you said you didn't think you had anything to talk about,
No.
but I don't know. I
Speaking-
didn't see the viewer numbers start tanking. I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed like more people started tuning in as you talked.
Speaking of split jaw, I just got some G scale stuff through when I picked up an HO layout for free, and there was an ad in there for split jaw, and it was like their brochure of everything they sold. I didn't know they sold half of what that was in that brochure.
You're
It was
talking
like
you're talking like from the new company or from before?
the old company.
Oh yeah, they have a
There's
ton
like
of stuff.
bridges, and they had their whole like under track system and all the rail clamps they had.
Yeah, I know. I believe they did like those
I
road
have it
crossing
here.
sections in that.
Let me
Yeah.
grab it. Let's see. We got, yeah, they had like an under track system. They had switches. They had girder bridges. They had bridge abutments and wings.
Oh wow.
They had their easy loaders. They had a locomotive engine carrier. They had automatic turnout, reversing loops, point-to-point reversing loops. They had these.
I actually think that I
They
think the
had these.
reversing unit I have here was a split jaw one, actually.
Yeah,
Oh, those track expansion joints that you just showed there.
yeah.
One thing you'll see when we do talk to Dave here in a couple weeks, or David, is that he actually redesigned the way that those work. If I remember correctly, he actually made a pretty nice change to those, which I think everybody will agree was a good choice on his part. The way he changed them.
They had a walk-on rail bed section for heavy walk-in areas for easy exit and thing. Like this is like.
Yeah.
I didn't know half of this stuff they had.
The why can't I think of his name right now? Where you made the death trolley video at, Sean? He has the split jaw sections.
Philip, shoot.
Philip, there we go.
Yeah. The death trolley. Yeah.
Yes, Sean's PG-13 rated video.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe I got a PG-13 R rating for that.
Oh, maybe that's why I can't comment, because I was watching kid shows before.
Oh, that could be. I was going to say, are you? Because I know there is like the YouTube Kids thing. If you're in underneath that, that could probably cause issues.
I wasn't like I'm logged on my name, but I must have been watching a cartoon or something and it flagged me.
Maybe the
13 over here.
Maybe the wife has you under restrictions. You know,
she's not restricted on my phone.
I'm just teasing. I know Sarah doesn't have to do that, which I'm assuming she might be watching somewhere. So, hello, Sarah. Since I didn't make sure I said at the beginning of the show,
she's in the other room.
She's in the other room.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure she's ready to spend some time with you. So we'll wrap it up here and thank you again, Kyle.
Yeah.
And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks here. And till then, have fun playing with your trains, everybody.
Yep. Have fun. We'll see you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.